Fooled by Randomness, The Hidden Role of Chance in Life and in the Markets. By Nassim Nicholas Taleb. This is a book summary. Imagine this. A young trader turns a small investment into millions overnight. A startup founder launches an app, and suddenly, she's being called the next Steve Jobs. A gambler walks into a Vegas casino and leaves with a fortune. Success, right? Talent, intelligence, sheer genius? But what if I told you it's all an illusion? What if the trader wasn't a genius, but just happened to be in the right place at the right time? What if the startup founder wasn't actually smarter than the others, but just got lucky with an investor's check? What if the gambler was about to lose everything, but a single roll of the dice saved him? What if we are constantly mistaking randomness for skill? The truth is, the world isn't as predictable as we'd like to believe. We love stories of brilliant masterminds and visionary leaders, but often those we celebrate are just lucky fools. This is the premise of Fooled by Randomness, a book by Nassim Nicholas Taleb that rips the curtain off our illusions about success, markets, and life itself. If you think you've got life all figured out, think again. Because once you see the hidden role of chance, you'll never look at success the same way again. Act 1. The Illusion of Success. Meet John. He's a hedge fund manager, and he's on fire. Every year he beats the market. His fund is up 20%, 30%, 40%. People call him a financial wizard. They hang on to his every word. John has an eye for the market. John's a genius. Trust John with your money. He never loses. But hold on, how do we actually know he's skilled? Because here's the trick Taleb warns us about. Out of thousands of traders, some will win by pure luck. Probability guarantees that in a large enough group, there will always be a few winners. And when someone gets lucky 5 years in a row, people assume they must be brilliant. But here's the problem. Luck runs out. Markets shift. Reality crashes in. What happens when John's luck finally turns? John wasn't brilliant. He wasn't a market genius. He was just lucky until he wasn't. And this happens everywhere. Startups, businesses, investment firms. Even history itself is littered with lucky fools mistaken for geniuses. And the worst part? Even John doesn't know it. Like most of us, he truly believes he was always in control. But John's not alone. There's a hidden force shaping our world, one that fools even the smartest minds. And if you don't see it, you'll be the next lucky fool. Act 2. Survivorship bias, the silent trap. Ever heard of the phrase, too many millionaires next door? These are the people we admire, the ones who made it. We see their luxury, their confidence, their rags to riches, stories. They tell us, if I can do it, you can too. Follow my steps, and you'll be a millionaire. But wait, where are the thousands who failed? Here's the uncomfortable truth. We only see the winners. Startups, 90% fail. Stock traders, most lose money. Businesses, most never scale. But you don't hear their stories, do you? Because failure isn't celebrated. It gets erased from history. This is called survivorship bias, the deadliest illusion of success. We analyze only those who survived and ignore the graveyard of failures. You read a book about billionaires' habits and think, aha, if I wake up at 5 a.m. and meditate, I'll be rich too. But for every millionaire who woke up early, there are thousands who did the same and failed. The book was only written because the author survived. And here's the real kicker. Most winners don't even realize they were just lucky. They think they earned their success, that their decisions were brilliant, not just a product of randomness. Somebody was bound to win. But was it skill or just statistics? The lesson. Don't blindly follow success stories. Don't assume you see the full picture. And never forget the invisible failures that got buried along the way. Act 3. The problem of induction. The Black Swan moment. Okay, so maybe someone has been successful for decades. Surely they're legit, right? Wrong. Enter the Black Swan problem. For thousands of years, Europeans believed that all swans were white. Why? Because every swan they had ever seen was white. The logic seemed airtight. Every swan I've ever seen is white. Therefore, all swans must be white. Until one day in Australia, a black swan shattered centuries of belief. Just one unexpected event, changed everything. This is exactly how life works. People think their business is bulletproof until a financial crisis wipes it out. They think their career is stable until AI automates their job. They think the world is predictable until a global pandemic shuts it down overnight. We trust the past too much. We assume the future will be like yesterday. But history is full of black swans. The 9/11 attacks, the 2008 financial collapse, COVID-19, the rise of Bitcoin, the fall of once great empires. None of these events were predicted by experts. Yet after they happened, everyone acted like they were obvious all along. We love rewriting history to make it seem less random than it actually is. The truth? We are blind to what we don't see. We underestimate randomness. We pretend the world makes sense, even when it doesn't. And when the next Black Swan arrives, it will wipe out everything. Act 4. How to stop being fooled. So, what do? How do we stop falling for the illusion of skill, stop mistaking luck for genius, and protect ourselves from the hidden randomness shaping our lives? Nassim Nicholas Taleb gives us a few golden rules, hard-earned wisdom from years of studying risk, markets, and human folly. Rule 1. Embrace uncertainty. The world is not as predictable as we think. The stock market doesn't follow neat formulas. Careers don't move in straight lines. Life doesn't hand out rewards just because you worked hard. Accept randomness. Embrace uncertainty. The moment you do, you'll stop looking for patterns that don't exist. Don't trust a smooth track record. It may just be luck in disguise. Don't believe in gurus, because even the best can be wrong tomorrow. And don't expect the future to behave like the past. Instead, stay humble, stay skeptical, and always assume things can change. Rule 2. Don't trust past success. John, our hedge fund manager, he looked unstoppable until he lost everything overnight. A startup that can't fail, it can, and most do. A business model that's worked for 20 years, one black swan, and it's gone, just because something worked before, doesn't mean it will again. Taleb warns us, the past is full of survivors. But what about those who did the same thing and failed? History only records the winners. We rarely hear about those who played the same game and lost. So instead of betting on what worked yesterday, focus on what survives tomorrow. Rule 3. Be skeptical of experts. Wall Street analysts, financial advisors, TV pundits, they speak with absolute confidence. They predict markets, businesses, and world events like they have a crystal ball. But here's the truth. Most of them are just guessing. Many just got lucky once and built an empire off that one stroke of luck. And most have no real skin in the game. Taleb despises these so-called experts because they never pay for their mistakes. They make bold claims, get it wrong, and then rewrite history as if they were always right. And the worst part, we keep believing them. Want to know a secret? The real experts are often quiet. They don't make big, flashy predictions. They know the future is uncertain. And instead of pretending to be prophets, they prepare. Rule 4. Prepare for black swans. Think long-term survival, not short-term success. Taleb teaches us the ultimate lesson in risk. Don't try to predict the next black swan. Instead, build a life that can survive one. Have a financial cushion. Avoid putting all your eggs in one basket. Limit your downside so no single disaster can wipe you out. Most people bet everything on business as usual. And when the black swan arrives, they're ruined. But the wise? They expect the unexpected. They position themselves to absorb shocks. And when disaster hits, they don't just survive. They thrive. At the end of the day, life isn't a straight line. It's full of random events, hidden luck, and unseen risks. And most of us are playing a game we don't even understand. We worship success stories without seeing the failures that never got told. We trust the past too much without realizing how quickly things can change. We follow experts blindly without asking if they were just lucky fools. But now, you see the illusion. You know that luck is everywhere. You understand that randomness shapes more of life than we admit. And now, you won't be fooled.